Hello out there to all of my villagers. How y'all doing this evening? My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I am a mental and emotional wellness creative, multi-state licensed professional counselor, and certified life enhancement coach. I got my wine and I'm ready for tonight's conversation. You are tuned into Livestream Tuesday. I am broadcasting this inside of the Trust Village Facebook group as well as the my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. So we got all of those things going on. For those of you who are watching from the Facebook group, you need to click on the link in the description of this video in order to give permission for StreamYard to be able to post your comments on Facebook. Otherwise, it won't let me see who you are. Like I see somebody said, "Hey, beautiful," but I can't see who you are. So you need to give permission by clicking the little link in the description. It's super quick, 2.5 seconds, and that way I can see who's in here. So I'm really excited about our conversation tonight because it's something that comes up often, and it's one of those things that for whatever reason, I feel very strongly about it because people are always talking about relationships and stuff like that. You know, that's always a hot topic. And with Valentine's Day being this weekend, it's going to be a lot of y'all out there fighting in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you something. I am a married woman. Hallelujah. I love my husband and very much. But I was not always a married woman. And so before I met my husband, I had a very, uh, what's the word I want to look for? I want to say healthy, dating life. And I think a part of the reason why I was able to have such a healthy dating life is because I had very clear boundaries. Now, that's not to say that sometimes my boundaries did not get a little blurred from time to time with certain people, but for the most part, I had very clear boundaries within those relationships. And so when people ask me or when people reach out to me about relationships and stuff like that, and they want to talk about all of the issues that they have in a relationship, specifically in relationships that are not supposed to be real relationships like those friends with benefits situationship seem to be the ones that cause the most difficulty. And I'm always in awe because when I really start digging in and asking questions about it, what comes up is that there were no real clear boundaries set from the very beginning. And so I'm excited about having this conversation tonight called Friends with Benefits, Setting Clear Boundaries, because I think that it's important for us to understand the dynamics of how to make a Friends with Benefits relationship work. Now, I am a huge proponent of healthy sexual expression. Listen, you have needs, and those needs need to be met, right? And so I don't see anything wrong with enjoying yourself sexually, even if you are looking for a serious relationship. Now, I know that that's contrary to what a lot of people will tell you. A lot of people will say, oh, well, if you're trying to find a husband, then you need to, close your legs or you need to, stop. What they say, why buy the cow if they could get the milk for free and all of that other bullshit. And I get it, to a certain extent. And I do believe that there are some situations where individuals need to just go sit down somewhere and figure out what it is that you're trying to do. I think it's more so about needing to get clear about who you are and where you are and what it is you really want and need in this life. and less about attracting a man or attracting a woman, or trying to find yourself in relationship. It's about your own personal and individual here. You know what I'm saying? And so there are some situations where I would highly recommend to being by yourself for a little while. I would highly recommend taking a little break, you know what I'm saying? And just getting real comfortable and familiar with yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with it, you know what I'm saying? Actually, it's very, very healthy and necessary. It's a healthy part. Masturbation is a very healthy part of anybody's sex life, anybody's sex life. That being said, though, I also think that it's very possible to have relationships, situationships, or whatever it is, with clear boundaries, right? Clear and mutual boundaries, and still want a serious relationship or know that that's something that you want in your life, just not with that person. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm on the sofa tonight because I want this to be a relaxed conversation. It's been a while since I came and talked to y'all, for real, for real. And I know the last time I came talk to y'all, some of y'all was fussing at me because y'all said it was too quick. Um, that's what she said. It never gets old. It's funny every time. Um, But yeah, so I'm just gonna hang out with y'all tonight, and we're gonna have us a conversation. I want you all to talk to me, communicate with me in the chat. Y'all know how this goes. I want y'all to give me some thumbs up and some hallelujah hands and all of that. Make sure you hit the little share button and share this with your people. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the little thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure that you tune in every time I do live stream Tuesday. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and comment hashtag replay so I can say, hey girl, hey, whatever. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, like I said before, it's important for anyone to have a healthy sex life. We have basic human needs that need to be met. And there's nothing wrong or demonic or anything like that about those needs. I think that for some of us, we hide behind those needs to just kind of shield us from the reality of the desires of our heart. So there's some people that try to convince themselves that they don't need other people, that they don't need relationships, that they don't need connection. And the truth of the matter is that all human beings need connection. All human beings need relationship and want to exist in relationship with each other. That's just the way that we are built. It actually, you know, our connection to each other, our connection to each other as human beings is what keeps us alive. It's what allows us to meet our developmental milestones. It's what allows us to be able to thrive in this world and to actually live, in this world and survive in this world. And so it's a basic human need for connection, right? That's not anything that anybody needs to be ashamed of. That's not anything that anybody needs to feel embarrassed about, or feel guilty for, or be angry with yourself for having that need. The problem is that, for some of us, for a lot of us, so many of us, unfortunately, life has taught us that we can't trust people, that we can't allow people in, that we can't, make connections. Yes, I can see them now, Rashonda. I can see them now. Yes, thank you. That we can't show ourselves in that way and connect with other human beings in that way because the human beings that we had access to, right? The human beings that had access to us, they failed. They took advantage of their opportunity. They took advantage of the gift that is your space, your existence, your energy, right? And so, unfortunately, A lot of us have hardened ourselves to new relationships because of the fears that have been left behind, the scars that have been left behind from past relationships that went horribly wrong, right? And so we deny ourselves our truth, which is we all need connection. We all need each other. We all need to be in community with other human beings, right? Outside of basic safety and survival, like food, clothes, water, shelter, and safety, the next tier in terms of shit that's important to human beings, right, is love and belonging, right? So it's a basic human need to belong, to be wanted, to be a part of a community. Okay? So when we have those negative experiences, we feel like that's not for us. That's not something that we can have. And so we start convincing ourselves that we don't need it. But because of that need, because that need is so deep, because that need is so basic, you can't help but try, right? You can't help but try because you're human. And so we go out with all of these scars. We go out with all of these emotional scars, right? Relationship scars. Sometimes, unfortunately, physical scars, right? Spiritual scars. And we go out and we still feel compelled to pursue connection. But instead of us doing it from a place or doing it in terms of like pursuing connection, instead of us pursuing that connection from a place of, genuine desire and well being, we're doing it from this fucked up, scarred up, garbage ass place, right? And so we bring that into our relationships, and then we wonder why those relationships fail over and over and over. Now, the friends with benefits relationship is not nothing new. Don't get it twisted. I know everybody. I ain't gonna say everybody, but most of y'all got grannies, okay, that got 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 children by 6, 7 different baby daddies, right? And so, hey, I don't know who that is that just said, hey, you have to give permission for Facebook to to show your face. Click the link in the description so I can see your name. But hey, how you doing? Um, yeah, so y'all got grannies that got all these kids for all these different men that they ain't never married, none of these men. Friends with benefits has been a thing for a very long time. This is not nothing new. They just called it something different. Back in the day, they said, oh, that's my little friend. That's my guy friend. That's my lady friend, right? So this is not anything new, right? I think where we are now though as a community is that so many lines have gotten crossed between what constitutes a friends with benefits relationship. The expectation is what I want to say. The expectations that we're placing on these friends with benefits relationships, okay? And we in different times now. And so friends with benefits look different than it did at one point in time. It looked different than it did back in the day. And so we have to adjust for those times. I think that the biggest thing, the number one thing that we can do to make sure that we are clear about our friends with benefits relationships. Hey, Tasha, I see you, girl. I see you. The first thing that we have to do is get clear within ourselves about what it is that we really want or expect out of this relationship, out of this situation. Now, like I said, before I met my husband, girl, I kept me a roster, okay? And I mean roster, Roster, not Rasta, Rasta, okay? Because I knew my husband Jamaican or whatever, but I ain't, Anyway, so I kept me somebody on my team, girl, a few on my team. I mean, why not? Why not? But I was clear within myself about the position that each one of those people played in my life. I understood what their role was in my life. And I didn't have any additional expectations for them outside of that role, right? So a lot of us get into trouble because we get into these situationships with people that in our heart of hearts, we know that he ain't it, right? We know that she ain't the one. Them, they, zir, whatever, ain't the one, right? But we get into it still expecting that they're going to turn into that, whether you choose to acknowledge that or not. Because what you're looking for is a serious relationship. But because you're denying that to yourself, what you're telling yourself is, well, I don't need no man right now. I don't need no relationship. Fuck these niggas. Fuck these hoes. Da, 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 da. I don't need that in my life because these niggas ain't good for nothing and these bitches ain't good for nothing and this, that, and the other because of all of the baggage and the scars. Hello, somebody. I feel like somebody needs to put a hallelujah hand in the chat, please. Okay? Because of all of these scars that we are carrying with us from relationship to relationship, it has tainted our understanding of what we want and need. So we're trying to convince ourselves and trying to convince the world that we don't need nobody and that I could just do this and I could just do that. But in reality, you do. You are longing for connection. And so you get into a situationship with somebody who is either clear about the fact that they're not looking for anything serious right now, or clear about the fact that they're not looking for nothing serious with you, or someone who is equally scarred and trying to convince themselves that they're not looking for nothing serious or that they don't need nobody. Right? So you link up in these situationships with individuals who also have their own issues. And because you don't have no clear boundaries, they don't have no clear boundaries, y'all don't never have a conversation about the boundaries of the relationship. So y'all friends with benefits, and then 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, now you trying to slice a nigga tires, right? You pouring bleach on somebody's clothes. You running up on the house. You running up on the new chick, and all of this and all of that, because you are not being real with yourself about what it is you really want from this relationship, what it is that you're really craving from this connection. There's nothing wrong with connecting with somebody to get your needs met, right? Your physical needs, your sexual needs met. But you got to be clear about the fact that that's what you're doing. And if there's any part of you that wants more, that needs more from that particular connection, then you have to be honest with yourself about that. You have to own that for yourself. And I'm not going to say most importantly, But I will say, equally as importantly, you have to communicate that to the other person in that relationship with you, right? Because the number one rule for any relationship is mutual understanding. Everybody needs to be on the same page about what's going on over here. Everybody needs to be on the same page about what we're doing. There can be no ambiguity about the nature of this relationship, about the roles that we play in each other's lives. No ambiguity. So if there is any part of me that feels like I could fall in love with you, I need to communicate that. Even if that means potentially losing that connection. Because guess what? You're going to lose that connection one way or the other. Either you're going to lose it now or you're going to lose it later. If that's not what they want. And I would rather know up front so that I can respond accordingly, so that I can move on and get what I actually need from somebody who's actually willing and capable of providing that for me. Yes? I hope y'all heard that. This my good wine, y'all. Did y'all hear that? I need y'all to type in the comments. Let me know y'all heard that. Because that was a word. That was a message. This my good wine, y'all. My good friend, where we at? Right there. Uh-oh. My friend Rashonda bought me this wine. She came back from it's a different Rashonda. This my other friend Rashonda. She was in Italy for like 3 years, and she recently came back from Italy, and she bought me some wine from Italy. So I'm drinking my good wine with y'all tonight, girl. What's the percentage on this wine? Let me see. Oh, it is 13%. You know, I don't mess with nothing under 10. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the point, girl? What's the point? All right. Y'all ain't talking to me in these comments, so y'all must have not heard what I said. At least I don't see y'all talking to me in these comments. I don't know. It might be my Facebook tripping. And, I'm on my phone and my iPad is right here, but it's dead. So we have to be clear, mutually clear about what those expectations are for the relationship. Where are we? What are we doing? What is the expectation? Now, that doesn't mean that a friends with benefits relationship can't grow into something else in the future. I have seen it happen. I know a couple, well, they're not, I don't think they're together now, but they started off as friends with benefits, you know what I'm saying? And then they fell in love with each other, like genuinely fell in love with each other. And they were in a relationship with each other and they had 2 or 3 kids, you know, in a relationship with each other. The relationship ended up not working out several years later, but that's not to say that a friends with benefits relationship can't turn into something more, but only if everybody is being honest about where they are and what they need or expect from the relationship. So when you are engaging in a sexually casual relationship, you have to communicate. You have to communicate. And if you engaging in multiple casual sexual relationships, then you need to communicate with everybody that's involved. Now, I'm not saying they all got to know each other. You ain't got to give social security numbers and all of this other stuff, you know, to each individual person, but everybody who's involved needs to know what the situation is. Okay? We have to be on the same page. We have to all be in agreement about what it is that we're doing here. And if that changes for any one of us, then that needs to be communicated at the point of that change. Okay? That's called setting boundaries, enforcing boundaries, making sure that you know what it is that's happening, how, how is that going to happen, X, Y, and Z, yada, 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 so that you can set your expectations. You can set expectations for yourself, which ultimately impact your emotional experience of the relationship. So inappropriate expectations lead to, oh girl, what is that on my, look like something on the wall. Huh? Am I tripping? Is that my hair? I think it is. Listen, girl, y'all know I don't do bugs now. I don't do bugs. Oh, that's on my screen, girl. I'm like, well, I don't see nothing on the wall, but I see something on the screen. That's on my screen, girl. Okay, all right. I was like, what's happening? Um, yeah, that can change. And if it does change, that needs to be communicated as well. Because the expectation that you have for the relationship sets your emotional experience of the relationship. So when you have inappropriate expectations and those expectations are not met, then you're going to have a negative experience, a negative emotional experience, right? So it's always worth it to have appropriate expectations from the beginning. What am I getting myself into? What is it that we're doing here? Okay. So as we embark upon Valentine's Day, it's extremely important for us, for you all, because I'm off the market, but it's extremely important for that you get clear about what it is you're really looking for. Don't call your friends with benefit person if what you really want is meaningful connection. If that's not what you have in your life right now, you might need to sit this one out. Or if you do call that person, you do so with the clear understanding that even though I am looking for a meaningful relationship, this ain't the one that I ain't getting that over here. And make a decision within yourself if you are right with that. But be honest, because you're going to set yourself up. You're going to set yourself up. Okay? All right. I don't know if I just can't see y'all comments or if y'all ain't making no comments one way or the other. I'm not sure. But y'all ain't talking to me. Y'all know I be needing that energy in order to keep going, So that's really all I have for y'all tonight. I thought this would have been more of a back and forth conversation, but I guess not. It's all right though. It's okay. That's all I got for y'all tonight. I don't see. Yeah, that's it. All right, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.